Instead. Okay. All right, I have Elaine Sanchez,
Here.
Jane Mack, Kelly Benavides, Kiva Creer, Tamar Hoapili, Fred James,
Here.
Michael Kalish,
Here.
Felipe Ortiz, Nicole Rogers,
Here, just in time for roll call.
Nicole, Michelle Sanders,
Here.
Chris Way, Calvin Watson. Okay,
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Any public comment?
there's no public comment.
Perfect. So we're going to move on to the board action to accept the proposed agenda. Does anyone have any issues or would like to change the agenda? Are you guys okay with it? All right, and we will move forward. All those in favor, okay, great, moving forward. All those in favor of accepting the proposed agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. No nays and no abstentions, I see. Okay, very good. Now we'll move on to fourth item, board action to accept minutes from November 16th and December 5th. To the board members, are there any questions or any changes or anything that you'd like to comment on the proposed minutes? Okay. Seeing none. Can I get a move?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Can I please have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next is discussion and possible action. Oh, I'm going to table the discussion on the nomination committee because I spoke with council. Not the nomination committee, I'm sorry. Discussion and possible action on the governance committee, the governance charter. I am just tight-tongued right now. I'm so sorry. Because council informed me that she would like to talk to the bylaws committee and put it in the bylaws. And so we'll propose that. And hopefully, I know this is not great, but I'm hoping that we do have a meeting in January because we are going to have some vacancies and we need to work as a board to get new folks into our board. And so that's what I'll say. So, and maybe I'm looking at the wrong agenda. Maybe I'm looking at the old agenda. So forgive me. And then I believe after that is the gala for committee assignments. Am I correct on the agenda? No?
Hi, Elaine, this is Joanne. So on today's agenda for December 19th, the adopt nominating and governance meeting charter was item number 9.
Okay, so that was
item number 11.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to look at my, oh, I see it. Okay, very good. Perfect. All right, so now we'll move on to the discussion and possible action of the gala committee assignments.
Great. And Sherry, can you share that sheet,
Sure.
please?
Give me a second here. Figure out my screen share. Okay. Okay. Can everyone see it?
Now
Yeah.
we can. So we created, or Sherry created this Google Doc that anyone can have access to at any time. There's no login. And the actual link is in the packet that you received today. And for this page, we just put Tamar in here because she wanted to be a part of some of the committees. So we just put it here as an example, just so that everyone will know that this is a living document. Any changes or anything that's put in this document or changes will show here. So at this point, we need to know who would like to be on the gala committee, because the gala committee is the committee that will be meeting more often and then reporting back to the board on the progress and to get approval as we move forward in this process. So the gala committee will be meeting, I'm hoping at least once a month, but in between those meetings, we can communicate via email just so that everyone's on board, but we need to know who would like to be on the committee and what roles they're comfortable in, because we want to make sure that the people that are doing those roles are comfortable in those roles.
So what roles do we?
So we
Joanne?
have the auction committee, Then we have the table sales.
Okay,
Then we have the entertainment, which would be the entertainment, and included with the entertainment would also be the interior decorations, coloring for the gala. And then we have the invitation committee. And those were the committees that I'm recommending, because I think that'll help us keep it small and tight. And then, of course, the honorees will be voted on by the board. So it wouldn't be the committees that would be voting on the honorees. It would be a board decision at that point. So Sherry, if you can type in the auction, and that would be live and silent, which is already there.
Okay.
The table sales, entertainment, and then, like the interior decorations, invitations. And the library district, we have over 415 volunteers. So for the volunteers, that could be part of this committee, but I think it's something that we would like to recommend when it gets to the volunteer, when we get close. Individuals that are screened volunteers for the library district that are already vetted and approved at the library to work, to volunteer at the event. Unless there's another organization you would like us to bring in for volunteers, as like, the United Way or something like that.
Would anyone do on where they would like to be? I could definitely do the auction as well.
Sorry.
I think the
Sorry,
issue
my,
is-
my
sorry.
internet connection is, I'm gonna turn off my video. My internet connection is really
Okay.
bad. See if that helps. Sorry, hold on here a second.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, we were losing you before, Elaine, and it could
Oh,
have been
sorry.
All
because
right,
of
so Elaine, I'm sorry, you said you wanted to be,
I can definitely do the auction,
okay,
no problem.
Okay.
My only concern is because we have some members that are gone. We might need to send an email out asking, what they would like to sign up as.
okay.
It's required on the invitations committee.
the designing, and
Oh, okay.
it would be the designing and also name recommendations for the invitations as well.
Okay.
you mean, do you mean the people that we were going to be sending out invitation to in
Yes.
general, in the public?
Yes, and you can see as we go through this document, I have a page with names that I'm recommending, but the more names that we have, the better the odds that we will fill the room. So we'll share with everyone the list that I put together. And of course, it's all proposed for everyone to review.
Put me down for an invitation.
Okay.
I can
And then
start
we,
taking
and I'm
advantage of people I know.
And I'm sorry, Fred, I'm reading my notes here at the same time. We also need, like a finance committee person to oversee the funds that we're spending. And we know what the costs are for the event. But there'll be cost, for the invitations and for the entertainment, and all that was proposed when we did the first meeting for the gala to be approved. But now
You just want to record, someone to record it, not approve you want someone to record and approve, or approve?
well, we
and
would need someone for the team to report to that these are the costs and this is what we're spending. And for it to be approved, so,
I can do
Right.
that.
I'll volunteer on that committee as well.
okay,
Who's
so
that?
Fred and Michelle.
Michelle,
Yeah, okay, Michelle.
so I would assume that it entails reporting and where we stand, and that kind of gives us a good idea too if we're over in expenses somewhere.
Exactly, and then once the funds start coming in from the sales, from the table sales, we'll need to report that as well.
Okay.
And then just for Fred and Michelle, so I know Fred, you're familiar with how we do the books. Michelle, you might not be. We use QuickBooks for the foundation. So, and I expense our expenses by different classes. So I've made a separate class for gala expenses. So it
Perfect.
should be really easy to just run those reports anytime.
No problem.
Okay.
Joanne, I can do decorations in like the menu, but I have a couple quick questions. One of them is the district, on the district trustee side, are we gonna have any help from them to help kind of navigate this? I know this has to come through the foundation side since it's a 501c3, but are we gonna have help from the trustees on the district side is my first question. And then my second question is I don't want us to get out over our skis. And going through a few of these galas, I have one overarching concern, and then it kind of umbrellas underneath of it. My concern is we're doing this, throwing this gala, and we're going after basically donors like myself. And I'll throw myself under the bus on this one. Until I was on the library foundation, I had no idea what the foundation and not even the foundation. I had no idea what the library actually offered people. For me, if I needed help, I called someone, I got Ryan a tutor, we got Hannah and Grant tutors. And so I'm concerned that there's not enough people in the outreach that actually understand what the library does. And we're asking them to give a lot of money. So that's my first concern. And then my second concern that I have is I don't want us to feel, Larry Ruvo does the Keep Memory Alive, and his event gets about $2 million. Shaquille's event, which you have Shaquille, I hate to say it, we're not Shaquille, that we barely went over $3 million. So I feel like I don't want us to get out over our skis and have such a high expectation for our first year that I don't know how we're going to temper that to give people who want to buy these $100,000 tables with an outdoor experience, which can be beautiful in and of itself. But I also want to make sure that we're giving them an experience and that we're asking not only, we're asking for their time, and now we're also asking for money. So how do we curb that before we get out of our skis and
Tomorrow or Wednesday.
get there?
We had a meeting.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm sorry, Nicole, I'm just gonna knock on Kelvin's door and let him, oh, he just turned his mic off. I wanted to let him know his mic was live. So that's a great question. So let me answer these questions for you and tell me if you're comfortable with them. So yes, the Shaquille event is phenomenal. And we know that. And Larry Ruvo, he's been doing it for numerous years. And with this event, since it is our first event, the goal is to get people to be honored that are recognized in the community. And if we have that group of people, that some of them we discussed at the last meeting, we'll talk about more today, those are the people that are going to help be the driver to help us sell the tickets. And then I'll go back to the Latin Chamber. You know, Elaine was at the Latin Chamber event as well. And Michelle, that was just last week. Peter Guzman was honoring people, some of them were staff members, but people were there because of the Latin Chamber and what it does for the community. And you're 100% right, Nicole. A lot of people have no idea what the library district does. And that's why we started this Did You Know campaign. You know, like, did you know the library has this? And we have all those videos with Kelvin. And I'm out knocking on doors, raising awareness on what the library does. But the key to making this a success is we're not going to have Maroon 5. And we're not going to have Pitbull, and we're just not going to have that level of entertainment, especially for this first one, or the name recognition that Larry Ruvo has, because he brings in Sammy Hagar and Steven Tyler. We'll have to go, my recommendation is we have to choose the right people to honor, because then the community will help us honor those people. And then they'll learn more about the library. Like when I went to meet with Nevada State Bank, they really had no idea what the library did. So I met with their president, we sent their team here. They're coming on as donors because they actually saw what we're doing. And that's what the development department does. 3 to 5 times a week, is we work with these big donors and bring them in and educate them on what we do. So your concerns are 100% valid, Nicole, but I think it's going to be tied into the honorees.
Okay. And then will we have help from the district trustees on helping, like, just figuring it out? Because everything that we're doing is obviously to support the district. And so are we going to be able to get their input? Are they going to help us navigate just kind of how their vision also? Because everything that we do is to support the district. And as long as, you know, they're on board with it, I think this can be a great event, but we just want to make sure that that we have their input as well, because everything we do is for them.
Exactly. And at the last board meeting, Elaine was gracious enough to come to that meeting and talk about the gala being one of the things that is on the calendar for 2023, and how we wanted the the Library Board of Trustees to be a part of it. And for them not to cross that line where they're soliciting, to have them as honorary committee members or honorary gala members, I think is the way to go. Elizabeth Foyt I work with her closely on referrals. And one of the referrals that she gave me last week was for the Olympia Company with Gary Goett. And we met with them and we're looking to see what they'll be doing, you know, how they'd like to partner with us next year. So their input is very much wanted and needed as their community leaders as well. We just can't have them solicit.
Right. I understand that they can't solicit because
Right.
that's
So-
going to a nonprofit. So,
Right.
but I
don't
still
know-
want them to make sure that they're comfortable with what we're doing. And even if it's, you know, like you said, honorary, where they sit in on the meetings and make sure that everything's, you know, that they're comfortable with it.
Right. And I have spoken with them, you know, on individual basis as well on what we're doing outside of the two members that are on the board, which is Felipe and Kelly, because they're already aware of what we're doing. And they're very excited. And, you know, to have Elaine come and speak before the Board of Trustees last week, I think that was great. And for her to do the introduction on the gala, I think we're taking the right steps. Everyone, even on that board, has been involved in galas in some time during their career. So their knowledge is going to be very helpful in this as well. So I agree with you on that, Nicole.
I think that from I went to the last district meeting, like Joanne said, and I think it would behoove us to, once we finalize everything, I know Joanne is going to go over that to them, but maybe some people from the foundation also be present to answer questions. And I did say that maybe we should have a joint meeting, and maybe that's something that we should do sooner than later, early in the year, especially since we have this gala. Not about necessarily solicitation, but just making sure that our meetings of the minds are in the same, that we're both doing the same thing that we think we should do in order to make the district move forward and the foundation move forward.
And then Elaine, would you like us to resend this list to the board members today that were not able to participate, and just ask them if they'd like to be on the committee? I just don't think we should go more than 5 or 6 people. Is my
Yeah, I agree with
recommendation.
that. And I think that's wonderful, wonderful idea. And then my only concern is because it's the holidays. I think that's why we're not having as much participation, because people are seeing families, people are taking time off. Is that perhaps maybe we ask for them to, you know, turn it in by January 5th, or, you know what I mean, after the first of the year.
Perfect. And then we can report back and we can send that via email. We'll copy Africa on that as well, on our emails to the board.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions on the committee page? Okay, let's go to the honorees, please. Sherry. So of course, these are just recommended, and I wanted to go over the individuals again. And Nicole, this will tie back to what we just spoke about on who we honor. So I know we discussed in the last meeting, you know, I recommended Maureen Schaefer, and Elaine, you were looking for people that have really done things for the library in their career. And I just wanted to make everyone aware Maureen will be coming on the West Las Vegas Quality Board.
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Maureen Schaefer has agreed to become a member of the West Las Vegas Qualic B Board. And that was actually prior to our last meeting. We met with Maureen, I'm going to say 3 or 4 months ago. And I have to apologize that I didn't recall that when we were having our meeting 2 weeks ago, when you were focusing on, you know, people that have done stuff for the library. So she'll be donating her time for the Qualic B West Las Vegas Library Board for the construction on that. And then, of course, we spoke about Tim Wong, and I think everyone was very happy with Tim Wong as being nominated and to possibly move forward with him. And I just wanted to put the names again of who I discussed, and Peter Guzman, and we also brought up Senator Mo Dennis. Now, when we're looking at the table sales, since we don't have the entertainment factor, we don't have the community fully aware of everything that the library does. I think by honoring these individuals, and if there's other names we'd like to put out there, I would love to discuss it as well. But I think with these 4 individuals, and then I know we also discussed having a library employee and a library volunteer, we can incorporate that, but these names will help us with table sales. And I wanted to put that out there for the board to consider, because with all of these individuals, they are associated with really the highest wealth that is out in the community, and they all do for the community. And, you know, and I know we discussed these names before, but I just wanted to reiterate with Maureen and Tim and Peter. And I thought the Senator Dennis was a wonderful idea. I can't remember if it was Fred or Elaine that brought that up, but I think it's valid with Senator Dennis as well, because they won't be in session during that time. You know, the session will already be over for next year, so it would be something that he could bring in. He's very well respected, has a big donor base, and I think these names are good, unless there's other names that you'd like to discuss, or we can again send this document to the full board and see if there's anyone that they would like to add. But we really need to get this wrapped up by January so that we could start moving forward. Because once January comes, November will be here before we know it. And again, it's a living document.
Any questions from the board? Or I know that we also, I know City Councilman Creer was discussed at our
Can
last.
you add Councilman Creer, Sherry?
Or Councilman Creer, that was Kelly Benavides, I believe. And I'm trying to remember, someone had mentioned maybe bringing somebody from the county as well, a name. The issue, does anybody have any comments on this or ideas? My only concern is that we don't have our full board today, and I was not anticipating that. And so I feel, for me, I just feel like this is something that the whole board should discuss. That's my personal opinion, but I do know I know Kelly Benavides had put Cedric here, and I forgot what was mentioned for the county.
Yeah, we were talking possibly McCurdy.
Yeah, I don't recall. I am so sorry.
That's okay. We can go back to the minutes. Everything is in the minutes.
Yeah.
I think it was McCurdy.
Yeah, that's in the minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you add William McCurdy?
Had
please?
mentioned County Commissioner Tick Segerbloom. I'm not sure if that was mentioned too. So would anyone, those are my only comments. My only comments are, you know, the whole point of having this meeting was so that way we could have, you know, mull these names and make a decision. And we don't have everyone here, even though we have quorum. My only concern is the people that are not here are going to say, oh, you know, hey, what about this? So if anyone has anything else to say, please let me know.
I would add Lawrence Weekly, because he's played a significant part. And most of some of the libraries that we built were within its district. And he was chairperson of the library at one time.
And he's now with the College of Southern Nevada
Yes, he
in a
is.
leadership role there as well. So he's still giving back to the community post his political career. So Elaine, when we send the note out to the board members, we will incorporate everything that we discussed here so that they can click all the tabs and add who they'd like, or we can add something here if they agree or disagree, or if they'd like to recommend someone else so that we can get this wrapped up in January.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, please, if you guys feel comfortable moving forward, I defer to the board too as well. I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I think if we present this list and with the potential for add-on or narrowing it down or to categories, I think that's what we were doing, right, Joanne? Kind of categories. And
Yes.
because right now we have about several people for government, and we have one in with Peter for the Latin Chamber. And Maureen is, what's her, I don't think I know her.
So Maureen Schaefer, you maybe remember her ex-husband, Phil Peckman. They were married for a long time.
Yes, I do.
And then, so she used to be known as Maureen Peckman. That might be. how
Okay,
you
I know who
recall
you're
her.
talking.
Okay.
Okay. What category were we looking at?
For Maureen, just for community leadership, she was been a strong ally with the Clark County School District, working with
Okay.
Lara and the superintendents prior to that, focusing on education and getting funding for the state. Also was the founding chief of staff at the medical school and
Okay,
was instrumental in getting that building built. And the funding came from the Inglestads and from the Krikorians directly. That's why the school was named after the Krikorian. So there's a strong connection to the wealth in the community.
okay.
And
When do you want, you said January, you want us to have these names, these selections by. Do you have a date in mind?
we want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I'm thinking mid-month, because that'll give everyone time to get through the holidays. And then 2 weeks to really look over the names. Because I'm sure
And why-
next week, no one is looking over this document.
Right, correct. Yeah. So no, okay, that's great. So if we could just put that in the email. I'm trying to think regarding let's see here, the honorary selections. I thought that Tamar sent you an email that had maybe categories of awardees. I thought that.
We have that here for you. So if
Oh,
Sharon
you
can
d-
bring that page up.
Oh, okay. I think that would be, I think if we could marry that,
Okay,
be helpful for the board. And then also, I think, should you decide to have a gala every year, it's a program or a process that you can follow. And then ultimately, if you do it enough, people are going to get used to it and people are going to know, oh, this award or that award. I think it's a good idea.
yeah, and November will be our month, because we know with the others, with the, Shaq, we know when his is, and when Larry Ruvo, his is in a certain month. Most of these organizations have that month that they do this event, and through our research, we didn't see anyone having anything that early in November, because of it being Thanksgiving, because after that, it's the same thing. People are just focused on the holidays.
So are we do a legacy award, a community partner award, a volunteer of the year award, a library staffer of the year? Are we able to create that? And then that will help, because I don't think we even have names for volunteers or the library staffer. I'm assuming the honorary selection, we have to include all of them.
Right, and that would be a part of what the committee would discuss once we have the committee members, so that we don't have to have the whole board at all of the meetings. The committee will meet and come back with their recommendations for approval. So if we do meet by January 15th, and I'll see what day of the week that is, or during that week, the second week of January, we just have to finalize the committee members so that we can move forward and get everything aligned
Okay, very,
for presentation. And then I'm just going to move to the table sales, and then we'll jump to Tamar's document because she had some questions in there. And again, she attached the Shaquille O'Neal document in there. So these are everyone that I'm listing on here. I'm going to say 90% of these individuals that are on here, I've met with, toured with the library, or know personally to reach out to. But I wanted to share this list of the table sponsors. So there's about 50 on here that we'll send to everyone for them to look at. But these are the individuals with the table sponsorships that these folks, based on the list of names that we're proposing to honor, should buy a table or be one of our main sponsors. So we're looking at Nevada State Bank, Bank of Nevada, NB Energy, Ingolstadt Foundation, the RJ, we just brought them on as donors. The WIN, working with Phil Satry, Caesars, with Jan Jones, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. We've had numerous calls with them. They're coming on a tour tomorrow or this week. Beverly Rogers as an individual. Nicole, we put Perry on here. Not sure if it would go, through PR partners but we did put him on here. Station Casinos, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders, Cox, MGM, the Nevada Independent. John is a supporter of the library. UNLV, CSN, and we put Saragossa down in the event we were going to add weekly on here. Nevada State College, United Way, they're already funders. The Precorians are already tied to one of the individuals that we're looking to honor. Sunrise Hospital, UMC, United Healthcare, the healthcare companies. Intermountain is already a donor that we've brought on. Wells Fargo, they're a donor. The Bar Association is one of the partners that does in-kind, did you know advertising for us in the legal community. We have Larry Ruvo, Southern Wine and Spirits, Randy Garcia, big supporter of the Latin Chamber, Cano Health, a big supporter of the Latin Chamber. And then we have the Vegas Chamber on here. P3 Partners, they're one of the largest medical groups here in Southern Nevada. United States, the U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking, they're coming on as a donor. Eagle Promotions, we just brought them on as a donor. The Aviators, we brought them on this year. Desert Dogs, they've come on in support of the library. Southwest Gas, Las Vegas Recycle, Greenspun Media, Dr. Marion Adelson, Phil Ruffin, Brian Greenspun, Michael Gone with the South Point, they're interested in doing something with us. And then Boyd Gaming, who've come on as donors. And then I just, listed some companies here like YesCo, Channel 3, Lotus Broadcasting, Telemundo, the television channels, the broadcasting companies are big. And then, we'll look at law firms, the big CPA firms, and of course the cannabis industry. We've had discussions with the director of the cannabis industry, and we were looking to partner with them. And we're on the list of charities for the cannabis industry to fund. So we're on the list, but we have not been chosen yet as a funder. And this could be a good time to bring the cannabis industry in as a table sponsor. But I know that there's more individuals that the group on this call would be aware of, and maybe some individuals that have wealth that are just kind of behind the scenes, but that would like to support us. So this is just the list. And if we look at this, it's about, 50 individuals or companies. And if they all bought a table or a sponsorship, there's your 500 people. That if everyone, bought a table, but once those sponsorships are bought, that eats up about 10 tables just on those sponsorships, because the big one gets 4 and then 3, 2, and 1. But that's a good problem to have. And in some instances, people purchase the table and then they donate it back to the organization just to support. So we might have that, but we'd like everyone to look at it and add their recommendations. Nothing's off the table. The only industry that we will not partner with is the adult entertainment. So I just want to be clear, just in case someone has a relationship in that industry, that's not an industry that we will be going to. And then if you get to the sponsors,
Questions
it's
from the
really,
board?
I'm sorry?
All right, so are there any questions from the board regarding this list? I think it's a good list. For sure. Fred, you're saying something, but I think you're on mute.
I was just curious, Deborah Campbell is on the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
She is. She was our guest at the Latin Chamber a few
Okay.
weeks ago. I've been working with Mary Daly and trying to get Mary to come to the library. And she's been gracious enough to, to have me meet with some of her high-level staff. And then we had Deborah sit at our table at the Latin Chamber event a few weeks ago, and then that's how we were able to secure the tour. So yes, she is on the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
Did you have Jenna Morton on that list? I don't remember seeing that name.
No, I don't. Can we add Jenna Morton to that list? Sherry, please. And then when we send the notes out to everyone this week, you'll get the link. And again, you will not have to log in to access this document. You click the link and it will take you there. And as soon as you close out, whatever you have entered will be saved. So it's a living document. And then when we get to the next one where it says sponsors, it's really just a blank sheet. And, these were the levels that we were looking at. And
did
we'll
we-
fill in the dollar amounts just so that
Yeah.
it's clear for
I was
everyone.
gonna say that, I think that would be helpful, but we are gonna have a 5,000, 10,000,
Mhm.
25,000.
Yes. And then if you go to the live auction, that one is blank as well. But, we will log all the auction items when they come in. So that we'll have each item will, if it's a weekend at the MGM, that would be number one, number two. So this way, that evening, it'll be very easy to do the sales because everything will be lined up with whatever that auction item comes in with the value. And then, so we have the live auction and then the silent auction. It looks exactly the same. And then the invitation list. And I can move over some of those big sponsors over to here, but if there were individuals and we will also do this with the Board of Trustees, if there are individuals that they would like us to reach out to or companies that they are not seeing on our list that they have connections with for us to reach out to, they will be added to this section of the document. So is everyone comfortable with the layout of the document and the ease of accessing the document? And then could you just go back to the table sales for a second, Sherry? And all we ask is if you see on the right, it just has my initials. When you add someone, if you can just put your initials there so that we know when we reach out to these people, if we don't hear back, we can say, Michael, you recommended this group, but we haven't heard from them. Would you like us to reach out again, or would you like to reach out? Just so that we know. And if you have, of course, Elaine, I have Mr. Tony Sanchez on here for NV Energy as well. I mean, if I'm happy to reach out, but I just put my name down as the one who put the list on here. But just because my initials are on here doesn't necessarily mean that I'm the one assigned to reaching out. It's just that I put the name on there.
Joanne,
Hi,
I'm
Jane.
just doing a quick comparison between the detail of the donors that we have reported in the financial statements to the list. Do we have a Switch on here? Because Switch historically, it looks like last year gave the foundation $15,000.
We do not. We will add them to the list.
And Best Buy has funded the tech centers. I don't know if Best Buy is on here. I don't know, the key individuals that were instrumental in securing those corporate donations, but those are two companies that are on the business contributions financial statement detail that's not on here. And then you may want, I don't want to go through the individual names, Joanne, but you may want to go through a couple years of the detailed financial statements, and you can identify the individuals that were more generous donors and trace back to see who they are associated with, if there's deeper dollars or deeper pockets associated with those individuals.
And thank you for that, Jane. Yes, we will add those. This was just for example purposes for today, that we will be reaching out. Once everything is approved to these groups, we will go through the list as you recommend, Jane, and we will pull those donors out to add to the list.
Do you think we can have those lists prior to you sending it out to us? So that way we have a full,
Yes, we can pull just that list.
okay.
Wait, I'm sorry, what list are you guys talking about? The list of donors?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
high level donors.
Donors on the
yes.
financial, yeah, from the financial side that Jane was looking at.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Jane. That was very, very helpful.
So far we've discussed the gala committee assignments, which will be sent out. The document will be sent out for individuals to put their names in. Discussion and possible action on the honoree committee. We'll be sending that out to everyone. And the next item on here is the event theme. So are there any actions going to be, is there any vote for us to just send the document for everyone to review? Or will we just table items 5 and 6 for now?
I think for the event theme, Tamar wrote such a really good, email to the foundation. And I think she had very good artwork, just an idea of what she thought, the event could look like. I think the issue is that as a board, we were given one choice instead of, multiple choices, one theme instead of multiple themes. And I think that the fact that it, came right before the holidays, and here we are trying to help you, because we really do want to help you, Joanne. But at the same time, we also know that it takes time to create a theme, and it takes time to create artwork and all that stuff. So I think really that's a question for the board. I'd like to hear, what you guys think. We have two options. We can continue down the road that, Joanne and the marketing folks provided, which was that one option of free to be me, I believe, or free to be. And then there's also, Tamar's comments, and Director Way, unfortunately, he said he couldn't make it today. Those were the two that were, not so sure about the artwork or the theme. And I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but Nicole, I'd like to get your thoughts on this because, you know about galas and the importance of artwork and advertising.
Before you answer, Nicole, let me throw something in there. Could we put out a noodle, Joanne, on which would be our top 3 selections of the one that Tamar presented to us?
And can you guys see, the list now on your screen? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you put out a noodle on that, Joanne, we can select from those numbers our top 3. And then if we can't come up with a good theme, we'll have to select one next time we meet. What do you think of that idea?
We will do that if you'd like. I just want to jump back to the free to be and why we only recommended the one is because just to revisit that the library is coming out with this new branding, and we thought that it would be a good tie-in that we're having an event that you're free to be, and how all of these leaders at one point use the library throughout their career to be free to be whatever they are, a government leader, astronaut level like Tim Wong, at that science level, the space scientist. And we just thought it would be easier to raise awareness to the public, because people would be seeing the free to be, and then we're having the free to be gala. But we'll go with however the board votes. But my recommendation would be for the first one to be free to be, because we're already going to have all of that marketing that's going to be paid for on the library district side for the rebranding. And then at the next event, we go into these, because we want people to know that the library is more than books. So you can free to be, you can become an attorney, you can become a doctor, you can learn how to sew, you can learn how to speak English, you can learn another language. You know, so once you walk in the doors of the library, you can be free to be whoever it is that you want to be. And that's where we were going with it. So we'll put that as part of the poll, if you'd like, and then we'll take the themes from Tamar. But we're looking at it that if all this funding is already being spent on the marketing on the district side, it would just be an easy tie-in. But we will send it to the board for your review.
Okay, thank you.
Is there comments?
I kind of like that, because when I was reading through these lists, you're getting tied up a little bit. I don't know if you guys know Spread the Word Nevada, but they always do, because it is about books and getting books into the hands of kids who don't have a book in their house. So it would be kind of nice, because the library does offer more than just books. So yeah, but here's the thing for the artwork, whatever it is, we might want to think about our teen tech lab, and to get the heartstrings of the people who are coming, if you had maybe the kids come up with artwork, or if there's a younger program, you know, something along the lines of the artwork for the invitations might be kind of nice to go out, because then you can see the work hand in hand of what it does offer. My 2 cents.
One of the things that was mentioned at our last meeting was we would have volunteers from the library there at the event, that we would have some teams from the tech lab, maybe DJing or doing something very similar to what you would see with the Public Education Foundation, where, you know, when you go to that gala, you see students greeting people, or you have students performing, or you have, you know, a video of the students doing something. And perhaps that's something that I know that was discussed, that we were thinking about doing, is having that component that you can actually see the library at work through people.
I do have one comment really quickly on that subject as well, and I'm leaning towards what Nicole said as well. One of the things about the free to be theme that I just want to say is, when we're talking about what the library does, and Nicole just talked about how she had no idea of all these other services, tying it back to books in your theme negates the complexity of what the library district does. And I think the free to be opens the door to have those conversations about what other things the library district offers. So I do have some feelings about us going straight book themed.
Thank you, Michelle. And this is Joanne. We're also going to have library staff there to sign people up for library cards. So at that point, they can choose the Vegas Golden Knights. They can do I Love My Library. You know, we have one that has pets on it, and you know, there's just all there, and then you can just get a traditional library card, but we will have library staff there to sign people up as well.
Any other comments from the board? Okay, thank you very much.
So Fred, we will put that in a poll for everyone, like you requested, and we'll send
No,
it in.
that was for the board to, if that's what they would like to do, that not just for my personal request, but that would include free to be on that list.
Yes, we will include the free to be. And we'll also include the marketing again. So we'll put everything in the one email so that you have access to see the free to be campaign. And then we'll put the others in there for everyone to vote as well. And then these are the, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joanne, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to jump to what Jerry has on the screen.
Oh, are we gonna have video of parts of the operations where they have story time telling and theaters, so they can, where we show some performance that has gone on, and it just, we just show a picture of it, a film of it, and just go on.
Yes, there will be during dinner when everyone's eating, we'll have a video presentation that'll go on at that time, and it will be, when Elaine was at our Board of Trustees meeting, she saw a sizzle reel for all the news that the library district has earned, but there's also videos that is B-roll that we have to share as well. And we'll put it together for everyone to review. We'll put all these various sections in for all the clips for everyone to review and approve to be aired at the event. But yes, during dinner, we thought that would be a great time because people will be sitting, will have their undivided attention, and we can show the videos
Okay,
as the program goes, as we move forward with the program.
okay, thank you.
And then we had the sponsorship levels, which we discussed at the last event. And then it was also discussed to add that $5,000 level, which we are adding.
Oh,
And
you mean the
that's
10,000? The 10,000?
Mhm. And that will be on that spreadsheet that everyone will receive. We'll fill in everything as we discussed, Elaine and everyone else, so that we'll put those dollar amounts in there. And we were also, Elaine, you discussed that you were interested in selling pages in the booklet. So at those lower levels, instead of people getting a naming, for a program with the table, they can get a page, in the lower levels, they can get an ad page. And then we can also sell the ads individually for people who would just like to purchase an ad, because there might be a friend of someone that can't make it but wants to put something in the booklet. But we'll get everything cleaned up, and then we'll get it sent to everyone for their review. We'll send out another doodle poll, and then we'll for dates. So the 15th of January is on a Sunday. So if we look at the week of January 16th, just with the group that we have now, does that week look good for everyone? And we'll give people, dates and times during that week. But this way, we're right at the heart in the middle of January.
I'm just checking my calendar. Hold
Yep,
on.
sure.
Joanne, I'm good all days except the 20th.
Okay, so no 20 for Michelle.
I'm open.
Thank
The
you, Michael.
16th is MLK Day. So,
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
just saw too. I can't do it on the 18th if it's between 11 and 2 on the 18th, I can't make it.
Okay,
but-
so
Available the 19th, the 20th, and the 17th.
okay, so the 17th
Yeah.
looks good for everyone so far. Africa, can you advise if the 17th works for you as well?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. We have Nicole,
Yep, it works.
and then Fred, the 17th for you.
yes,
Okay, and then we'll reach out to the others. Is Jane still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unfortunately, I am really distracted by my daytime job in January.
Okay, I'm sure.
Fred, you remember those days, right?
Okay, well, thank you,
I'll have
Jane.
my head down on doing something else.
Understood, thank you. And then we'll work with Ebony on Kelvin's, Ebony's the keeper of Kelvin's schedule. So we'll be looking at the 17th. Okay, Michael, thank you, Michael. Happy holidays. Is there a preferred time on the 17th? Is noon a good, like between, 12 and 1, 12 and 1:30?
Maybe if we could, I don't know
We can doodle it.
if it works for everybody else, or the only thing is I just want to make sure, we say the meeting's going to be an hour, and I think because it's a lot, I don't think the meeting's really going to be an hour long. I'm hoping that it is, and I'd like to get through it, but maybe we give it ourselves an hour and a half.
Okay,
And hopefully most of it is done because you'll send the email, the email out and everybody will already have their preferences and then we can just move forward.
great. And then we'll also ask everyone to fill in that sheet.
Yes.
So at that
Yes.
point, we can just go over it and say, here's where we're looking with the honorees, who will call. And then once we vote, once the board votes on the committee, then at that point, the committee will take everything offline and then we'll report back as needed.
When is the library district's next meeting?
It is on January 19th. And that's at the Whitney Library at 5 o'clock. And that the Whitney Library is on East Tropicana.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And just so everyone knows, Michael had to jump off. So he put a note up. So I
So
think
the next meeting you said is January 19th at what time?
that is the Board of Trustees meeting, Michelle. That is January 19th at 5 p.m. It's the Whitney Library, which is on East Tropicana.
Okay,
And if you'd like to attend, I can get you that address. We could send it to everyone. Because we have some libraries that are not named on the streets that they're on. The other way.
All right, are there questions or comments?
I just have two comments. Joanne, I didn't mention, I looked at the revenue side of the financial statements, but also look at the expense side of the financial statements for potential table sales and individuals to invite, because the higher the expenses we're spending with them, the, I guess, greater potential they may return that from by a gala ticket sale. And then my other comment is, do we have 2023 board meeting dates? Can we get those scheduled and on the calendar? And then also, can we reserve the rooms at the various libraries located around the town so that the board members, foundation board members, can get back into the libraries and see the library and the foundation in action?
Yes, I'm just looking in the document here. On page 23 of the document were the 2023 proposed board meeting dates from 12 to 12:30, 90 minutes. And I can go over the proposed dates that are in here. It doesn't look like they were voted on, but it looks like these are the proposed dates. So it was the week of February 13th, the week of May 15th, the week of August 14th, and then the week after the gala, which is November 13th. And like, again, it's on page 23 of your packets.
Do we need to approve those dates now, or can we approve them?
Well, the way that
During the week.
I
She's-
don't think we typically voted on meeting dates, right? I thought we just took a surveyed, casually surveyed people's availability and sent out the invites.
Okay,
we will send this out to everyone today so that you have the dates. And then you can vote on which days are most convenient for everyone. But the next board meeting, according to this document, is proposed the week of February 13th. But we will have another special board meeting to discuss the gala on January 17th, if that's good for the rest of the board.
Is there a day of the week that's typically best for everyone? I think that's kind of how we did it before, so we don't have to send out an excessive amount of doodle polls.
Sherry, what day do we usually normally have?
We always just did Wednesday or Thursday is what we always.
Yeah,
did.
that's what I recall. I think Wednesday or Thursday is good because that's how we've always done it before. Because
Okay.
otherwise it gets very,
It's very cumbersome.
yes, I agree. If we could
Okay.
stick to what we used to do before, that would be lovely.
Okay, you want to say Thursdays? Does Thursday work for everyone? Thursdays from 12 to 1:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Yeah, 12 to 1:30. Yes, I'm fine. I had
Okay.
to look at my calendar.
And
And
then
then-
is there a library that people don't want to go to? Is there a preference? I mean, I can schedule whatever works for everyone.
I think Kiba had made comments maybe 2 board meetings ago. She wanted to be, maybe have a couple in a more central location.
Okay,
And then I know that Jane wants to, I don't want to speak for her, but I thought she wanted to see different branches because we have new members and it would be nice to see, you know, the different libraries.
And Sherry, so my wish list would be West Las Vegas, you know, before that goes away, right?
okay, yep.
And then East Las Vegas, Clark
Yep.
County, West
Okay.
Sahara.
Unless there, you got it. Okay. Oh, one more, Jane, what about West Charleston? They have all that new youth hub there. That's that one right next to CSN, Jones and Charleston.
Yeah, let's replace West Sahara with West Charleston then.
Okay,
That's a great idea.
okay, thank you. And then do you want to still offer the hybrid location? Because then we have to, then it'll depend on the availability of our tech staff. If it's in person only, we don't need a tech staff, so that might restrict some of the locations. What does everyone?
I think we should continue offering the hybrid availability. And then I don't know if this is asking too much, Sherry, but to the extent that a librarian in that branch is available, since we do have a lot of new board members, I think it would be helpful if we can have a short tour. I don't know what short tour is, or maybe we add that on at the end of the board meeting as an optional tour so that the foundation board members can see what the foundation is doing in that specific branch.
Okay, sure, we'll add that.
And I think you'll truly enjoy the tours at the other libraries. So thank you for the recommendation, Jane.
Is someone speaking?
No, I was just,
Oh, okay. I just thought maybe I couldn't hear.
yeah, I can hear. No, I was just looking at I'm looking at the agenda and for some reason it's not cooperating with
We
me.
can pull it up for you, Sherry.
I
Can you
am
pull
so
the agenda
sorry.
up?
Like I'm using my iPad and I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties. Sorry. What is going on here? My diligent is moving in the wrong direction. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we know now for when you said discussion and possible action for the sponsorship levels, did you need us to vote on that? Because I know we didn't vote on it last time. Do you need us to vote on the amounts that we're doing 5, 10, 25, 15, 100,000? Does anybody want to comment? Is that too much, too little? Did we need to vote on that or are we good, Joanne?
I don't think we voted on it last time, so if we
I don't-
vote on it today, then we'll include that in that
Okay.
one sheet so that we
Okay.
have all those levels and then we can tie in on who we think will be the best at those sponsorship levels.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions on the sponsorship level? Just, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joanne, I believe they are 5,000 for the table, 10,000, 25, 50,000 and 100. Is that correct? For sponsorships,
We were doing 75 as well.
Oh, you were doing 75, so forgive me. And then I know that at our
And
last, you had a list of like what that came with. Is everyone on our board comfortable with that? Did you guys review that?
Yes.
Yes, you're comfortable. Okay, great. All right. Does anyone want to move to approve the sponsorship levels? Can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Very good. So we're good on that. And then, all right, next one is the honorary chair recommendation selection. Am I correct? Joanne? Am I reading this correctly? Make sure I'm not missing anything.
Right, and for the honorary chairs, the last discussion was to bring on, like the mayor. And I think that's where we had the conversation about, Jim Gibson and possibly Tick Sagerblum on behalf of the county. Because we're the Las Vegas Clark County Library District and possibly the governor, but I think that the governor discussion was a no, and that we were just going to focus on the Las Vegas city leadership and the Clark County leadership as honorary recommendations. I mean, there's others that we can add in there, but this is what we discussed at the last meeting. And of course, we could also have the Board of Trustees as honorary chairs as well. Then they're included, but they're just honorary. They really have no official role, but I think it's the way to go. Since they each one of them have been appointed by either someone at the city of Las Vegas or at Clark County.
Are there any comments from our board members on that? I think that makes sense to have the district as honorary chairs. And if I also think that I'd like to bring, I think we should vote on that. I also think that we might need to bring it back if somebody from the board would like to add someone else, because right now we're just talking about the district trustees as honorary chairs, but I do agree with you. I think the board as a whole should talk about potentially somebody from the city or somebody from the county or somebody else. Just because right now we don't have all of us together, but I'm sure there's some really good ideas out there. Can I have a motion on the floor to accept the library district trustees as honorary chairs?
I can move to
I
accept.
second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, there's no nays. Nope, and no abstentions. Okay, we'll move forward, and just knowing that we'll come back and potentially think of maybe another person or so on that for that list for you, if that works. Okay, moving on, we discussed discussion possible action on the 2023 meeting schedule. I think we've already discussed that, so I think we're good to go on that, unless anybody wants to bring anything else up on that. Okay. Yes, oh, sorry. And then the next item is discussion and possible action regarding the adopt nominating and governance meeting charter. I spoke to our council and she thought that it would be a good idea to bring the verbiage of nominating governments and putting it into the bylaws, not having it a charter that's separate. Any thoughts on that from our board members?
So we're taking the recommendation of our council, right? I suggest we follow the council.
Okay, very good. So at our next meeting in January, on the 17th, we will, our council will have, with the bylaw committee, will have language that should be inserted in our bylaws, and then we can discuss that as a board. Sound good? Okay, very good. All right, is there the next comment or the next action item is public comment. Is there any public comment?
Nope, there is no public comment.
Thank you, Sherry. All right, very good. Then it is, what time is it? It is 2:11 and I'm moving to adjourn this meeting.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. And thank you for coming. Thank you for being on this meeting. I know that we're slowly getting there. We've approved a couple of items at this meeting, which is good. And we will finalize everything for Joanne and all the wonderful staff, so that way we can all move forward. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy
And
holidays.
It's always nice to see everyone, and we're making great progress. So thank you so much for your support.
Okay, thank you very much. Happy holidays and Merry
Bye, guys.
all that good stuff. Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. And Happy New Year.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Bye.